Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you and especially to my young friends. So, today I'm going to be doing some very interesting stories about Diwali and also why we do certain things that we do on Diwali. And finally, we'll do a fun activity for the kids, something interesting we can do for Diwali day. So, what is Diwali? Diwali is the most important festival we have in the year for us in India. It is called the Festival of Light. Now, the word Diwali or Deepavali comes from Deep, which means light, and Avali, which means a string or a row. So, a string of lights is what is called Diwali. And also, we don't have a fixed day of the year that we celebrate Diwali. It changes. Sometimes we have it in October, sometimes we have it in November. It's because in India we follow the luni-solar calendar, which means that we use the movements of the sun and the moon to decide the dates for our festivals. So, we've all heard the story of Lord Ram and Sita, his wife, and Lakshman, and the fact that they returned to Ayodhya on Diwali. Now, the people of Ayodhya were so happy to have their prince back after a 14-year exile that they decorated the entire kingdom with lights to welcome him. Another story is that they lit it up with lights and diyas. Why? Because Diwali happens on Amavas. Amavas is the darkest night of the month because Amavas is actually the night of the new moon. So it's called new moon, but actually you don't really see the moon at all. And even today, if you go to Ayodhya, this is how they light up the entire city. You see the lights there? This is how they celebrate the return of Lord Ram. Now, most of us think that Diwali is 2 days, Choti Diwali, Badi Diwali, but actually, Diwali is a 5-day festival. Okay, so there are specific rituals, specific traditions, and specific things that we do on each one of these 5 days. Let's see what they are. So, the first day of Diwali is called Dhanteras, which actually happens to be today, and Dhanteras is the day of Lord Dhanvantari. He is the god of medicine. He is also called the doctor for all the gods and goddesses. And we have him to be grateful for because he gave us Ayurveda, which is the Indian traditional form of medicine that we follow. Now, on Dhanteras, if you look at the word Dhanteras, the Dhan also means wealth in Hindi, right? So on this day, we buy precious jewelry like gold and silver, we buy coins in gold and silver, and we buy utensils or bartans. Now, why do we do this? It's because that these metals have a brilliance and a light, and they ward off the evil, they ward off bad luck, and they bring us fortune, which is why Dhanteras is also called the day of fortune. The next day is called Naraka Chaturdashi. Now, why is it called that? It's because on that day, Lord Krishna defeated Naraka, who was an evil demon. He had captured and put in prison 16,000 princesses. So when Krishna ji killed Naraka, he was able to release these princesses and they were so happy about being out. Now imagine 16,000. That's quite a big number, isn't it? And what a lot of us don't know in North India is that for South India, this is actually the day of Diwali. So they celebrated when we celebrate Choti Diwali. And if you see here, this is an effigy of Naraka. So just like in the Shera, we burn the effigy of Ravan. In Goa, in India, South India, they burn the effigy of Naraka on this day. So very interesting to know that how different parts of India celebrate Diwali differently. Now, the third day is called Badi Diwali in North India, and it is called the day of Lakshmi Puja. It is also called the day of light. Now, Lakshmi ji is the goddess of wealth and prosperity, which is why we pray to her on that day. And if you see carefully, she's carrying a pot of gold in her hand, and there are gold coins coming out from her hand, which means that she is giving us all this wealth. Now, she also has these lotus flowers in her hands and she's sitting on a lotus, because lotus is a sign of prosperity and also for cleanliness. Now I'll tell you a little bit more about Diwali and cleanliness later on. Now we finish day 3. Here comes day 4. Day 4 is also celebrated actually as Govardhan Puja Day and also as the New Year in many parts of the country. And people go to temples, they offer lots and lots of food and fruits to the gods and goddesses. And in some parts of India, we even have people putting these swastik or lucky symbols on their account books. So we're done with day 4. Now comes day 5. This is one of my favorite days of Diwali, which is called Bhai Dooj. So Bhai Dooj is a day of love between siblings. It's when sisters put these tikas on the foreheads of their brothers, maybe even do an aarti with a thali, and the brothers give them gifts. So it's kind of like Rakhi, except that there's no tying Rakhi on the wrists of the brothers. Okay, so it's a very special day, and that's like a grand finale when we are finishing off the festival of Diwali. Now, I wanted to tell you that Diwali actually was also an ancient harvest festival in our country. So you know that most of our communities in India are farming communities, people in rural areas, and for them it is such an important festival. So if you see, when the crops are completely grown, the farmers cut them, which is called harvesting. And this time of the year, the crop that is harvested is paddy. And from paddy comes rice. So why is it important for the farmers? Because they have a good crop. They are able to sell this paddy, earn a lot of money, and also store it for themselves, for the coming winter months. So even in ancient times, it was a very important festival. The farmers were very grateful to the goddess Lakshmi, and out of the gratitude, they used to, celebrate Diwali and worship her. Now, we finished with Diwali. Now I wanted to tell you that there are some other religions in our country for which or for whom this day is very important. So coming to the Jain religion, it is the day for them where Lord Mahavira, their 24th and last Tirthankar or teacher, he attained Nirvana or absolute purity. So this is a very important day for Jains in our country. And for people of the Sikh religion, it is a day called Bandi Chhod Divas. So in Hindi, Bandi Chhod means to release a prisoner. And it was on this day that the 6th Guru, Guru Har Gobind, was released from prison by the Mughal emperor, and he was able to go back home to Amritsar. So you see how even different religions have a significance for this day. My favorite story for different ways to celebrate Diwali is actually 400 years old. When Emperor Akbar, he decided, let's make this a festival of light and joy. So he named it Jashn-e-Chiragan. Chiragan are actually floor lamps or lampstands on which the diyas are lit. So what did he do? He said, let all the people in the kingdom come together, be them Muslims or Hindus, let them come together, let's be a community, let's celebrate it together. And what he did was, he organized these first community fireworks where they had Atishbazi, which was these used chakris you see. They created entire walls of these chakris, and the entire kingdom, people could come all over. In Agra, Delhi, they would come and see this Atishbazi, which was visible from a long, long distance away. So, community and brotherhood on Diwali. Very nice idea. And I wanted to also tell you that, we don't realize it sitting in India, but Diwali is celebrated pretty much in many countries all over the world. So in the Caribbean countries near the Americas, we have communities celebrating there. And if you see, we have our neighbors, Sri Lanka and Nepal, celebrating, and also countries in Southeast Asia like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. So a lot of other people celebrate Diwali with us. Now I want to tell you some little interesting details about why we do the things we do on Diwali. So the main Diwali day is the day of Lakshmi Puja. Now very interesting to know that we don't pray just to the goddess Lakshmi, we also pray to Ganeshji. And why do we pray to both of them together? It's because she's the goddess of wealth, but he is the god of wisdom. So if you have wealth, if you have money, but you're not wise and you don't use your head and spend it properly, you are going to whittle it away, which is why we pray to both of them together. And another interesting thing is we pray to Ganeshji before we pray to Lakshmi ji. So no ladies first here. That's because he is also the god of warding away obstacles. So when you pray to him before, there will be no obstacle during the puja of Lakshmi ji. So very interesting. I didn't know this and I found it when I was researching the story. Now on Dhanteras day, which I showed you earlier, we all actually buy new clothes for ourselves, which we wear on Diwali day. So it's nice and fresh beginning for us on Diwali. What else do we do on Diwali? So if you see entire communities, we make rangolis on the floor. So depending on which part of India you are, you might make a rangoli out of flowers or out of powdered color or out of rice paste or even paint. So different parts of India, different designs in rangoli. But why do we make a rangoli in the first place? So rangolis, just because they are so colorful, are very much important in changing the environment. They can change a negative environment into positive. They can make the place look cheerful. They pretty much change the energy of the place. Now there's another reason why we make rangoli. It is because it is believed that on Diwali night, the goddess Lakshmi comes down from the heavens and she visits everybody's homes. So isn't it a nice and cheerful way to welcome her right at our doorstep? Now, what else do we do on Diwali? We light up diyas. Nowadays, we even have electric or fairy lights, like I have these behind me. So, we do this because I told you Diwali is the day, the night of Amavas. It's the night of the new moon. It is very dark. So, it's nice to just cheer up the whole atmosphere with lights. Now, another thing a lot of us do on Diwali is we get our houses painted. So, why do we do that? Well, I told you Lakshmi ji likes cleanliness. She likes to come and visit clean places. So fine, let's do a rangoli, let's light up our houses and let's paint them. But the scientific reason behind painting our houses is that before Diwali comes the monsoon, and monsoon brings insects and dampness and fungus. So when it ends, we want to just give our houses a fresh lease of life and paint them. So that was a nice new thing I learned as well. Next, we also make torans, and earlier torans used to be made of flowers. Now what are they? These are decorative hangings that we make over our doors. So it's a nice fragrance, it's very bright and cheerful when we enter our own homes, when our guests enter homes, and when Lakshmi ji comes to our house. So this is why torans have been made since time ago. Now, another very good, interesting part, favorite part for kids especially, is mithai. So Diwali has very interesting mithai. Like all festivals in India, each festival has its own unique mithai that we have. So for Diwali we have gujia, we have laddus, and we even have some namkeen like chakris and chirwa. And I think there are also mithais like batasha and kheel that we have on Diwali. Okay. And what else do? We also buy clay idols. So a lot of times our Lakshmi ji and Ganesh ji are made out of clay when we do the puja, and every time we buy a new pair of idols because it's not considered auspicious to use another pair from another older time. So this is what we buy, but it's not just the idols of gods and goddesses, we also buy toys. Now in the cities you don't see this anymore, but in smaller towns and villages you get them very freely. I'll share a lovely memory of mine from when I was a kid. This is me with my cousins, and here I am sitting with my clay toys. So we were allowed to buy on Diwali one toy each, and we used to really look forward the whole year to get that chance. And here we are with my cousin's elephant, and I had bought this Mota Moti, which we still get with the wiggly head, and we did a marriage procession for them. So this is a nice memory of mine. We also play cards on Diwali. Now normally playing cards is considered gambling, but on Diwali it's supposed to bring you lots and lots of good luck. And finally, we have crackers on Diwali. Now, crackers have been burst since time immemorial, ages and ages ago. Why? Because there were two reasons. First reason they say is because humans wanted to tell the gods up in the heavens a big thank you and tell them that we are doing fine and we are doing well. So this was their way of bursting crackers and sending those news to the gods. The other reason was also if there were some devils or some bad evil things hanging around, the crackers would be bursting and scaring them away. So these were these fun stories as to why we burst crackers. But you know now that this year crackers have been banned by the government, so we cannot burst any crackers this year, and we should adhere it and follow it and have a very clean and green Diwali. But for next year, I know that if you do go to buy crackers, I want you to look out for these green logos. You see these green logos here? So these green logos make you tell you that these are green crackers. And what are green crackers? Green crackers are less noisy, they are mostly bright, and they don't create so much pollution. So especially when there is so much pollution, this is what the government has come out with, except we'll do it next year. And also kids, do you realize that how firecrackers can be so difficult for the animals because their ears get affected because of it, isn't it? So to close, let's talk about Diwali, the moral behind it. Diwali is a festival of light and it celebrates victory. Victory of good over evil, of knowledge over ignorance, of hope over despair. We work on our positive points. We try and reduce our negative points, our bad habits, and become better people. Okay? So now I am going to do some fun activities with you. Now the first thing I wanted to share is that whenever we make rangolis on Diwali, the little ones are always interested and they would love to get this independence and make a rangoli entirely by themselves. Okay, so we can choose very simple and easy designs. Here they are with flowers, just a few colors, and we can set them up to do it by themselves. So I picked two designs which are very easy for little kids, and both are used making gende ke phool or what we call marigold also. So how do you let a kid make this all by himself without any supervision? So what I thought was, what we can do is, let's make them some butter paper sheets with these lines. So all they have to do is they follow the lines and keep on putting one flower after the other and all the flying. It's kind of like join the dots. They love doing it. It helps their motor coordination, eye-hand coordination, and it's just so much fun for the kids to do. So let's try and make something like this for them, and once it's covered with flowers on the floor, you won't even see the butter paper. So this was an interesting idea for the really little ones. Now I want to show you what the older ones can do. So this is a paper cut rangoli. So paper cut designs, or scissor cuts as they are called, they are famous the world over. We have them in Europe, we have them in China. Every culture uses some form or the other of this paper cut technique. So it looks very difficult and very complicated, but it's very, very easy. I've taken some thick chart paper for the base because we're going to keep it like this on Diwali, right? Because rangolis are on the floor. And later we can use it, we can keep it on the dining table, we can use it as a mat, we can even use it for another festival or next Diwali. So they are also recyclable. So that's a great idea. You don't just make it once and throw it away. So to tell you how I'm going to make this, let me get my table and organize it. There you go. I am set. So we can take shiny paper. Here I've taken a disc. We can even, if you have trouble cutting the whole disc, then I can even teach you how to convert a square into a circle and make your paper rangoli. So here I am. I've taken this piece of paper, shiny paper. I'm going to first fold it the first time like so. I hope you can see me. Let me move this a little back. Yeah. So like so, first fold. Now I'm doing the second fold. Here we go. And After I've folded it, I'm going to make one more fold, which is like so. One more fold and we are set. And on this, on both sides, this side and this side, I'm going to make a very simple design. Let me show you. So let's see, I want to make a petal of a flower. So I'll make half a petal here so that when we cut it, it becomes a full petal. I'll just make it. So I've taken a pen and maybe I'll make a petal on the other side as well. And now let me cut it with a scissor. There you go. And here is the second part. Now all the stuff that's been cut, we can even save this aside and use it later in another rangoli or even on the same one. Okay, don't get rid of these. Alright, so when you open it, what are you going to see? There you go. My rangoli is ready. Can you see all the petals are done? And it was so easy to do. So you can see this video again later and you'll figure out just by looking it again. Okay, so this is there. Now you might ask me, I want to convert this square or rectangle into a circle. So how do I do that? Well, it's very easy to do. You see this part here? I am going to make a, so you see this smaller edge, this paper will go waste. We'll try and use it somewhere else. But from here to here, I am going to make a curved line. Okay, so let me make a curved line and try and make it like this. Now I'll just do it and show you. So there you go. And I made a couple of variations. So great. I did this and now see what I've done? I just did a curve and a little bit of a notch here, and when I open it, I got, well, this is more squarish, but if I make this curve a little deeper, it becomes a circle. So isn't it cool? And then if you want to do an even more complicated part, we can fold it even more and do even some more cuts here like I did in the other one. So very simple to do. Paste it on a sheet, take some A4 or even depending on the size, you can put a bigger sheet, and then we can use stick-ons and put them on different places. Just go all out, do what you want to do, and you can even use glitter tubes and really jazz it up. Okay, so this is a very nice and easy way to make a paper rangoli. And another tip I'll give you is that sometimes it's better to try it on a rough sheet of paper. You see, I use it on a rough sheet of paper before you go off on doing the real thing. Okay, so then we learned how to make a very nice easy paper cut rangoli. The next thing I'm going to teach you is how to make these. Now what are these? These are nariyal diyas, coconut diyas. And how did we make them? This is very easy. Even the younger kids can make them, and the older ones can probably even do the part where we need to heat up the condensed milk. So I am using condensed milk here. We'll take half a can maybe, and also grated coconut, desiccated coconut. We'll use this, and sometimes we do food coloring. So for the yellow diyas, I used yellow. Sometimes you can even take kesar water, or you can put a different food coloring. Okay, now for half of this tin, I'll need 1.5 cups of desiccated coconut. What we do is we do it on a slow fire on the pan, and when the mixture leaves the edges of the pan, we know, okay, it's time to lift it. We let it be, let it cool down, and then once it's cooled down, we can give it to the kids. The older ones can even heat it by themselves if they are so, confident, and then we can use it as play-doh and decorate our diyas and make them. So what I've done is, this is what the mixture looks like, the play-doh looks like. It's got the desiccated coconut and the condensed milk, and this is the yellow colored one. So what I'm going to do is, I've taken a small ball. So from that half a tin that we did, we'll get about 10-12 little nariyal diyas. Okay, so I've done this. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to press down the middle. Okay, press down the middle, and then just do this, make the edges very, very fine. This one's breaking up a bit, but no problem. There you go. So you can do a round. Supposing you say, I want a round diya. I don't want a diya which is like a conventional looking diya. Well, you can make that. If you say, I want a square diya, you can do that. Right? So it's up to you. You want a diya with a thick rim, that's fine. Thin rim, that's fine. Once you've done making one or two, you'll become good at it with the practice. So my diya is ready, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just making this chonch kind of a thing for the diya, my diya, because I like it like that. Okay, so I did this. So my diya is ready, folks. Making it a little thinner if I wish to, and there you go. So my diya is ready. What I'm going to do is now, there are two places where you can keep the badam. You can keep it in the middle or on the side. I want to do it on the side today. So I've done a little bit more, a little small little ball more, just as a base, so that I am able to put my almond there. So I've taken an almond and I'm going to keep it here. There you go. There's my almond. You see, that's the flame. One second, let's come off. No problem. There you go. Okay, and now what am I going to do in the rest of it? The rest of it I am going to put some very interesting things. So remember I told you that Diwali mithai, we also have kheel, right, which are like meethi fuliyan. So I'm going to keep these kheel. Let me turn it around so you can see. So I'm going to use the kheel also as a base, put some of these kheel things, and then I'm going to use sprinkles. We normally have them on donuts, but why not make them in the nariyal diya also? So let's just take some sprinkles and have some fun with them. There you go. I have some sprinkles in my diya, and then I'm going to take a couple of these silver balls and just decorate the mouth of the diya with them. There you go. Some more. So these are all edible, kids. We know we use them on top of cakes, on top of muffins. So I thought, why not use them on top of our diya? So there you go. Our diya is done. This one's opening up a bit. It needs some time to set. And we've got the flame. If you want, you can even put the flame at the middle. Okay, so very easy to make. Let me just set this up for you and show it to you all over again. So here we have our nice rangoli for Diwali. We can make it in different sizes. You can even make it as big as an entire chart paper sheet or as small as an A4 size. And here come my diyas. So if you see the tray carefully, this one is made out of just the condensed milk and coconut. There's no color in it. These have colors and they have sprinkles. We love sprinkles. They have badam, which is very healthy for us, and we can do them all together. I even used the paper cut to do a doily for me for my thali. So kids, very interesting ideas, and I hope that all of you try these at home with your parents and make them. DM me, let me know how you like the designs, how you liked making them, and also I hope to see you again soon with another Insta Live session. So happy Diwali to all of you. Have a great time. Be responsible, be considerate towards the others as well. So adios kids, and bye.